folks, how's everyone doing? Rudy with Alpha Investments. I want to jump back over. We haven't talked about it in a while. Today we're going to talk about Rivals of Ixalan in the regular Ixalan block, everyone. I know this is kind of a block everyone always kind of bashes me. Rudy, why do you skip over Ixalan? It's the colorful dinos. You bashed it. Now it's gold. All right, so I want to do a little thing. So for those of you who weren't around a couple years ago, first let me give you a little throwback into the history of Ixalan, okay? The original Ixalan boxes, the green boxes, came out. I apologize, I don't have any Ixalan box in the office here. So the original green boxes came out, and regular Ixalan actually did okay. The sales were decent. Allocation period, according to my records, was about 50 days long, which is about, not cut off early because of bad sales, and not too late because of demand. It was a smooth release product. It wasn't really extraordinarily exciting and people were going crazy, but it wasn't a dumpster fire release, okay? Not much to say about it. It lived its full life cycle and ended after about 2 years. It went out of print, or not 2 years, about a year and a half out of print, fully sold out about 2 years, and now it's aging well. I mean, it's really not too much to say. Rivals of Ixalan is what this video is going to be focused on. Those of you who weren't around, Rivals of Ixalan, coming out after Ixalan by a couple months, was a complete dumpster fire. I'm not going to lie to you all. So Rivals of Ixalan was part of those kind of darker days of the Magic 2017-2018 era where all the money fled the new products and the new sealed product and started going after the reserve list boom the first time in 2017-2018. And Rivals of Ixalan was terrible. The allocation period got cut early, so Wizards just said, please, somebody buy the product. It was a little scary, everybody. And even then, I mean, I'll never forget, I had multiple distributors saying, hey, Rudy, look, it's off allocation early. Do you want to place a special order? Do you want to do stuff? Do you want to do something for your patrons? What do you... And it was just like, well, sure, I'll put it for sale. And this was, $79.99 the patrons in 2017. I had it for sale for about, I think, 14 months maybe, straight. And besides Hour of Devastation, I think it was the lowest selling patron product box I ever sold for $80 a piece. Oath of the Gatewatch was pretty weak too, but Rivals of Ixalan was by far the weakest, and Hour of Devastation was right next to it. Those were the two by far the weakest selling products. So I remember there was even a point in time when one of my distributors actually was offering, they discounted the box price. And at the time, remember, this was before Wizards did the double price increase. This was years ago, everybody. So not like today, $78 to $84 a box from distributors. I heard as high as $87 a box. Some small stores are paying now for distributors for new product. Unbelievable. For regular draft box, that's crazy. This was when I think the box price was $76 for me a couple years back. This was before they did the price. I could be wrong. $75, $50? So anyways, I remember then they had so much of it. And even I think I was literally selling like maybe 2 boxes a day to patrons. It was nothing compared to today's standard, where literally like a slow day now, if between all online sources and local sources, a slow day now is like 20 boxes a day. If it goes to like 40, 50 boxes a day, that's considered a lot. That's how much things have changed, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, a lot of stores did not make it through that 2017, 2018 era. Because then you had the Master Series products that stores bet heavily on and got annihilated. I mean, a lot of bankruptcies in the old LGS world happened back then. So anyway, yeah, pre-COVID, huh? This was when literally the bankruptcies were being caused by WotC and problems, and it was just... Anyways, the themed set you've been waiting for, Masters 25. I need a shirt that says that, the theme set. So anyways, Rivals of Ixalan. Not only was it available the whole time, some distributors were like, hey, if you buy this, we'll give you an extra discount, we'll give you this, we'll give you a free intro deck with every purchase. They were real aggressive because nobody was buying the product. Towards the end of the product life cycle, Rivals of Ixalan was like one of only like 3 Magic sets in modern history to be ended and cut off early from production. Dragon's Maze was one. They actually cut off production early, and they let it kind of just run out, which still took a long time. They removed production at like literally the 11th month marker, and they're like, dude, we're not making anymore. And Rivals of Ixalan was the same way. They put Rivals of Ixalan out of print, I think like 11 or 12 months in. It wasn't even a year and like it was still in standard. It was crazy. And the funny thing is, it didn't make any difference. There was so much supply out there, it made absolutely no difference, everybody. Like nobody cared. I didn't say, oh, it's out of print, I better buy a bunch. Like nothing happened with it. It was a really wacky time, everybody. You know, boy, feels like I'm talking about like, back in my day, everybody, let me tell you how mad, let me get close to you, I'll tell you how magic was back in the... Yeah, isn't that crazy? We're only talking a couple years ago, man. Anyways, yeah, that's what happened with Rivals. So we fast forward to modern times. I get a lot of people saying, Rudy, why do you not talk about the IXALAN block? So I'm doing it. I apologize. Sometimes I fixate on certain products because I'm handling them or doing deals in them, and I don't think about other ones. Overall, IXALAN and Rival, for myself, was one of the product lines that after it was out of print and after it started becoming a good product, I actually had to go back and buy back in at like $90 a box instead of that $75, $78 range back then. So, yeah, I had to actually, because I literally sat on like a case or two. I didn't keep any of it because I was very negative. I was very bearish on the product. So in 2021, I think Rivals of IXALAN is like maybe what, $130 to $150 a sealed box on the open market. I mean, look, I'm going to be blunt with you all. I do believe that the IXALAN block both will be $200 boxes. The fact that they have very unique cards in it. I mean, you got the colorful dinosaurs, but more importantly, you have the flip cards. And as a lot of you know, like I've been talking about From the Vault lately. Do we have From the Vault Transform, which was a From the Vault with all flip cards. By the way, any form of flip cards are not really easily... They don't reprint those as often. I think it's something to do with logistics, maybe the cost to do double side. I'm not really sure the rationale, but they definitely seem to avoid those for whatever the reason is. So, I actually am more excited about stuff like that. Yeah. As of the filming of this video, we have about 4 mythics in Rivals of IXALAN that are actually $20 to $35 a mythic. We have multiple rares in Rivals of IXALAN, between $5 and $10 a card. We even have an uncommon in Rivals of IXALAN that's over $5. Yeah. So you look how far the product and things have come. The reason, the kind of the most important factor for everybody to learn from in today's video is that just because the product sucked at one point in time doesn't mean that she sucks today. Is that a giggity? I think it's a giggity. You see my point? Just because we thought it sucked and didn't like it, nowadays she's gorgeous. She doesn't suck anymore. That's not a giggity. Is that a giggity? I don't know. The point is, if you look at both scenarios, it's like we're talking about different products. Because we all hated it at the beginning. So terrible, the market rejected it, and now, people say, well, yeah, Rudy, of course. If people didn't buy it as much, it wasn't printed as much, of course it's going to go up quicker. So that's easy to say in 2021 after it already happens. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's a very important learning lesson for myself and a lot of people out there. Because even myself, during that time, I should have had the mindset or the depth or the critical thinking skills, the ability to see past that short term, rawr, grr, rawr, down with magic, rawr. Hey, I better not do that too much. Then I'll fit right in. I can start posting on the internet. It's one of these things where you got to be able to detach that emotional response. Even when we don't like something, even when we're angry at that person, that box, that store, that wizard, no matter what it is, we got to remove that emotion because it always leads to bad decision making. And that is a very, very that's a tough skill to get really good with. Like, even I still struggle with that. I screw some things up sometimes, And a good example was this IXALAN block, A good example was Amonkhet. That was another one. I had to go back and buy Amonkhet boxes at $100 a piece after they went out of print. And then recently, on my big binging of purchasing and expansion, I was buying Amonkhet boxes from literally the public and my own patrons. I was buying my own boxes back from patrons at like 3x their price. But that's how the world works. And it's frustrating because, of course, price memory in our head gets very uncomfortable. The buyer's remorse. Rudy, you're buying a case of Kaladesh back from your own patron? You sold him the box for $80. You're buying it back from your own patron at $300. And then it's tough to do. It's tough to stomach that. But I also know that as the years and the time marches forward, even $300 for a Kaladesh box is going to be cheap when Kaladesh hits $1,000 a box in the future. And I know that sounds completely ridiculous. But so does IXALAN being $200 plus a box. So does many things in this world. And it's tough to stomach and accept that because our brains want to resist that. Our natural instincts like, that's what we naturally do. But we got to detach from that stuff. And we have to be able to just think clearly, everybody.